Basketball is brought to you by Coca-Cola. We welcome you to the Gateway Center Arena in College Park as the Atlanta Dream play host to the Minnesota Lynx. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Angel Gray alongside LaChina Robinson. And look out, fans, we're back on the court, so this is exciting news. This is something that shows us that normalcy is on the way and we get to be on the floor, so that's good news. But LaChina, when we're looking at this matchup between the Lynx and the Dream, this is part 3 of the matchup, but they're without a key piece. Now, bad news, we'll start with that first. Tiffany Hayes has been ruled out 4 to 6 weeks with a grade 2 MCL tear. The good news, though, is that Kennedy Carter is now back in the rotation after missing 6 games due to a right hyperextended elbow. LaChina Robinson, what does she do for this team?
Well, the Atlanta Dream seem to not be able to catch a break. I don't think they've had their full roster available to them all season, but with Tiffany Hayes being out, Kennedy Carter back on the floor for the Dream, her explosive playmaking ability, her ability to put pressure on the defense off of the bounce, all of that will be much needed for the Dream.
Well, much needed. We've talked about Tiffany Hayes being out of the rotation, so as we've heard from this team this entire season, next man up mentality. Addie Sims is one of those players who's been phenomenal about what she can do in the last 2 games, scoring 20 points in each. What else can she add to this team with Tiffany Hayes out?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, she's scored over 20 points in her last 2 games, and she's done it efficiently. That's the key, Angel. She shot over 50% from the field. She's starting to get her feel back from behind the three-point line, and against her old team, I want to see if she can continue to turn up the defensive end of the floor.
Well, let's not stop at Odyssey Sims. There are other players for the Dream that have definitely been shining in the last 2 games. Tiana Hawkins has been stellar. Coach said she's hitting her stride at this point. What have you seen in her game?
Oh, when she starts to hit the three-point shot, that is where she brings value. We knew that Atlanta needed that coming into the season. In her first 6 games, she was dismal from long range, but she started to really get a feel. Coach Peterson said this team communicates better defensively when she's on the floor, that the ball moves better when Hawkins is on the floor. She has brought that championship mentality to Atlanta from D.C., and she's starting to get comfortable.
Well, they have their hands full tonight for the Atlanta Dream. They welcome in the Minnesota Lynx. They dropped the first 2 earlier in June. Well, they are led by 2 of the best and the most efficient front court players in Sylvia Fowles as well as Nafisa Collier.
Yeah, congratulations to 2 newly named members of our women's national team that will compete this summer in Tokyo. Sylvia Fowles, who's a future Hall of Famer, all-time leading rebounder in WNBA history, leading the league right now in field goal percentage. And then Nafisa Collier, a young budding star, all WNBA last season, all WNBA defense last season as well. She is versatile, can do a little bit of everything for Cheryl Reeve's team. 2 fantastic players here in Atlanta tonight.
Well, part 3 of the Dream Lynx is on the way. Dream Lynx are going to get back on track and looking for a little revenge from the previous 2 games as well. Stick around. We got game action coming up next. Tonight's presentation of Atlanta Dream Basketball is brought to you by Coca-Cola. We're moments away from tip. Good news for Atlanta. They get Kennedy Carter back after missing 6 games due to an elbow injury. Well, the newest member of the team, our very own Shantiana Keys, will be on the sidelines with us, has more on the return of Kennedy Carter.
Thanks, Angel. Just a bit ago, I got to catch up with Kennedy Carter, and she mentioned it has been devastating sitting out, but she's learned a lot in the process. She's learned, more specifically, that she can be the glue for this team, creating some energy and some flow. She believes that this team has the perfect pieces to be a championship team and can dominate teams in this league. Just a bit ago, Mike Peterson was asked whether or not Kennedy would have some restrictions this game.
No minutes restriction. She practiced really good. She practiced all 3 days this week. 2 of them were full. 1 of them was a little more of a walkthrough for everybody, but looked good. I expect her to be good. I also expect her to have some rust. I mean, you know, when you come back from being out that long, it's going to be a little uneven, right? But I expect her to play through it, and she didn't have any minutes restriction. So I'm expecting her to go out there and be Kennedy, be fearless and play hard and play with pace.
A Kennedy Carter back with no restrictions. I like to hear that. I'm pretty sure the Atlanta Dream would love to hear that as well. We'll get into the lineups for tonight. We'll start with the opposing team, Minnesota lineups. The starting 5 look a little bit like this. Bridget Carlton, Nafisa Collier, Sylvia Fowles, as LaChina Robinson already alluded to, are on the new USA women's basketball team competing in Tokyo this summer. Kayla McBride and Alasia Clarendon, former Atlanta Dream as well. On the other side, the Atlanta Dream, Cheyenne Parker, Elizabeth Elizabeth Williams. Kennedy Carter back in the starting rotation for the Atlanta Dream alongside Courtney Williams in the backcourt, and Odyssey Sims in the starting lineup as well, coming off of 2 amazing games. And we'll start with Minnesota's coach. Very familiar with her if you follow the W. Cheryl Reeve 12th season with the Lynx. First coach in WNBA history to get to 250 wins with one franchise. Last year she was the coach of the year, overall 5th on the all-time wins in the WNBA. For the Atlanta Dream, interim coach Mike Peterson, 4th season with the Dream though, stepping in for Nikki Collin, who actually took the head coaching job with the Baylor Bears, is saying, I want from my team for us to just settle in. They've had a couple of days to practice and fine-tune some things. One of those things they want to improve on is taking care of the ball, especially with the turnout that they had against Minnesota. In Minnesota, turnovers was a big problem. And then from the previous games, just learning how to get back in transition defense. That's something that they've worked on. The communication has to be there. And something also that Cheyenne Parker has said, I want this to take on that leadership role for me. So we'll see if they can get it done tonight. For the Dream, they are in their heroine jerseys, and the Lynx are in their rebel jerseys. Both teams are taking the floor with a 5-7 record. Excited to get this one started as far as the officials. Tierra Cruz, Fatu Sesescu Stevens, and Kevin Sparrock will have the game call. The ball is up, and Lasia Clarendon for the Lynx will start off with the ball. I'm Angel Gray alongside LaChina Robinson. Shantiana Keys, you heard from her earlier in the broadcast on Kennedy Carter coming back. And N1 right off the bat for Nafisa Collier, going straight at Elizabeth Williams.
And right away you see one of Mike Peterson's keys for the game. He said we cannot allow them to score easy baskets right there at the rim. And that's the versatility of Nafisa Collier, as you will watch her from various spots on the floor, but whether it's mid-range, long-range, free throw line, under the cup, she can score from anywhere.
Big reason why she is a all-star and on the Olympic team as well. And correction on myself, that foul actually went against Kennedy Carter. That's her first as well as the team's. And Atlanta trying to see if they can execute on their first possession of the game.
And if you're Kennedy Carter, you definitely have to let Nafisa Collier have that first bucket, but welcome back, Kennedy Carter.
Didn't take her too much time to get on the board, and Lasia Clarendon, nice mid-range game, drops it for 2.
And you get worried about a fall like that for Kennedy Carter, probably wanting to protect that elbow, but that's how she plays, just all out, explosive, and she likes to hit the deck. 0
to 100. She knows one speed and get into the basket. Odyssey Sims, the same thing. Can't connect off the left side of the glass, and Sylvia Fowles pulls down the rebound. Lasia Clarendon pushing the pace, finds Nafisa Collier underneath. 1-2 move, and breezes past Cheyenne Parker, excuse me.
And very wisely, Minnesota's going to keep going to Collier on the inside right now until the Dream can do something about it.
Pop from the top of the key from Parker, no good. And you can hear from the sideline, the Dream sideline, get back in transition. We can actually hear that now since we're on the floor. But China, hopefully we come up with a couple more keys from the Dream sideline. Courtney Williams going at Nafisa Collier from the top of the key, and that's a money shot.
And Courtney Williams gets to that mid-range shot, especially right there in the middle of the key. It's pretty much money.
She also picks up the steal on the defensive end. Mid-range, again, she can't get that one to go, and Cheyenne Parker goes in front of Dantas and gets the rebound. They're actually going to be a foul on the play.
I mean, right here, Kennedy Carter splitting the defense just so quick, even with the contest from Sylvia Fowles, still able to get it up and high off of the glass, and that is the talent that Hollywood Kennedy Carter brings to Atlanta.
Before she was hurt, she only had one game where she scored in single digits. She's averaging about 15, close to 16 points for this team. She had 12 points in the game in New York when she actually went out, so they're happy to have her back. Another piece is Atlanta turns the ball over, trying to get the ball to Elizabeth Williams. So the ball is poked out of bounds by Odyssey Sims, and that's something you'll see from her as well, knowing that defense is where she gets going offensively.
Absolutely, and I think she's perfect for the style of play defensively that Atlanta is starting to show us this season, which really caters to their personnel with Carter, Hayes when she's in there, Odyssey Sims, Courtney Williams, players that can really speed up the game, and they have to because they don't have the size to contend with some of the other teams in the league.
Well, if it's speed, LaChina, that's something they have a lot of depth in. I know even missing Tiffany Hayes, one of the fastest guards in this league, losing her 4 to 6 weeks is a tough blow for Atlanta, but they have a very potent roster of guards. Ari McDonald, another player that can come off the bench and give you a lot of speed as well. So the ball is poked out on the sideline, and Dream will get it back with 16 on the shot clock. Williams finds Courtney Williams. Sims working her way through on the inside. Can't get it to go. Finds her own rebound, though, and will bring it back out to set up. Less than 10 on the shot clock, and right there, Lasia Clarendon saying she grabbed my arm first, but Odyssey Sims will pick up the foul. And that's Lasia Clarendon's first foul.
A little back and forth between the two players right here. And yeah, that was a foul by Lasia Clarendon, and I think Clarendon was concerned about the raise of that high elbow by Odyssey Sims.
It's a 13 foul early in this game for the Lynx. The aggressive D we're used to seeing from Atlanta. Well, Lynx showing some as well. Can't connect on the baseline for Courtney Williams. The double team is attracted at the baseline on Nafisa Collier, but the weak side gives up a bucket to Sylvia Fowles.
Atlanta can't seem to get their post defense where they want it and set up in a good position to contest, whether that's on a switch or just out of transition.
And to your point, Courtney Williams even trying to communicate with them running back, like there has to be weak side defense and help. And that communication, they said they worked on in their practices that they've had. They'll definitely have to fine tune it moving forward because Sylvia Fowles doesn't miss many buckets underneath.
#1 in the WNBA in field goal percentage right now.
Beautiful find by Sims to Williams, but she can't connect at the rim. Lasia Clarendon working her way all the way back, but a strip by Cheyenne Parker. It seems like they'll be able to pick up 2, and Kennedy Carter is able to do so.
Great defense by Cheyenne Parker, and that's something about the bigs for Atlanta is that many of them can also guard on the perimeter, including Parker and Elizabeth Williams. But right now, they got to figure out how to guard in the paint because Minnesota is scoring in there at will.
Sylvia Fowles with the reverse layup. If they can find the blueprint to guarding her, I'm pretty sure any other coach would like it as well because it is tough to guard 3-4 underneath for the Lynx.
Well, you cannot let her get deep position. And on that possession, she had enough room to operate. And notice how quickly Minnesota is getting down the court and getting into their offensive sets in the post before Atlanta can even get their bearings. Good denial here by the Minnesota Lynx.
And they come up with the steal as well. Kayla McBride with the tip finds on the weak side a little bit of miscommunication, but Courtney Williams makes them pay, trying to see if she can get her team running with her in transition. But the Lynx at this point have done a really nice job with defending in transition. Beautiful pass, Elizabeth Williams, but once again is just denied underneath.
Elizabeth Williams is a great rim roller. The challenge is that Sylvia Fowles has still got enough quickness in here to recover. I mean, she is getting up in years in the WNBA, but she's leading the league in steals and just has that type of energy that she can recover on a defensive play like that.
And Atlanta just struggling from the field at this point. There is a foul that was called for Courtney Williams to step up to the free throw line, and Atlanta has been 1 of 9. And trying to see if they can get their bearings offensively. Courtney Williams steps up to the free throw line. We've seen walking in, vote Courtney because of the All-Star game coming up, and we asked Coach Mike Peterson what that was going to look like for her to even be mentioned as an All-Star. And he said, if you ask Courtney Williams, she's already an All-Star. So if she gets the actual name for it, that'd be great news. I'm pretty sure that Shantiana Keys has more on how Courtney Williams continues to shine in this season. in her second season with the Atlanta Dream. And Sylvia Fowles once again, LaChina. Is there anything else that we can say?
There's got to be more pressure on the pass. I mean, that's what Atlanta wants to do, is be disruptive. Well, it's hard to do that once Syl catches it in the paint. The guards have to really do their job in taking away the side of the pass.
Kennedy Carter right away showing what she can do and the impact on the offensive end.
I mean, you see that move? Hard to stay in front of Carter.
So the Dream again pushing the pace in transition, and Courtney Williams scoring off of the turnover. Makes it a 1-point game.
Man, Atlanta is just poking out possessions. They're being aggressive. And good job there by Elizabeth Williams with the three-quarter side on Sylvia Fowles, taking away the passing angle.
Mid-range again for Courtney Williams. That's back-to-back buckets by Courtney.
And you feel the intensity of Atlanta's defense really starting to pick up, and that's when they're at their best. Not allowing Minnesota to get those clean passes into the low block.
Excuse me, LaChina. 8 points for Courtney Williams. You can see the energy changing for Atlanta. Starts on the defensive end, as we're hearing Coach Peterson say, I want more pressure on the perimeter, and that's why. Sylvia Fowles denied underneath by Cheyenne Parker, who's screaming for the ball in transition.
You got to know that Syl's still back there. You got a 5-on-4 break. Need to get a score there.
Well, we have some subs coming in that we will see after the break. Courtney Williams has been on fire. 8 points already for her, getting it done on the defensive end as well offensively. 1-point lead for Atlanta. Well, Atlanta's 9-2 run puts them up 1. You see a couple of fans that are excited about what they're seeing so far from Atlanta. And we'll talk about the keys to the game, which are presented by Scana Energy. LaChina dominate the paint for Minnesota. Atlanta have to attack. Have you seen that so far from both teams?
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota already has 10 points in the paint of their 13, and that is too high of a percentage of efficient shots and looks right around the rim. And then Atlanta does have to attack, but attack doesn't mean offense necessarily. In this case, I think it's more defense, attacking with their pace, with their quickness, with their ability to disrupt, just being aggressive, something that they didn't feel like they did in their second matchup against Minnesota. The first game was a very close one, and a miscommunication on defense cost the Dream that game. But the second one wasn't close at all, and it had a lot to do with the lack of attack from the Dream.
Dropped that one 80-100 in Minnesota as Courtney Williams right out of the timeout, as you said, attacks the rim and finishes.
Beautiful call. Isolation. 1-4 low for Courtney Williams.
10 points for Courtney Williams in double figures. You're seeing the pace from her and wanting to establish that energy for the team as well, but it's been done collectively. We've seen it from Elizabeth Williams as well, who has done her part to try and defend in the paint.
And it's going to take some time, right? Tiffany Hayes is a huge part of what this team does. I mean, she was averaging 18 points per game and a career high in steals and assists as well. So you take her out of the equation and you add Kennedy Carter. They're very different players. Tiffany was spreading the floor very well and very efficiently from long range. Kennedy is, I mean, no one can stay in front of her. So she is definitely a catalyst in the quickness of this offense. But it takes some time. Every time you lose a piece of the rotation, you got to get used to things.
Not just a piece, the piece,
yeah.
You know, for Atlanta, just being one of the veterans for this team. But they said it's not easy to fill in that spot, but we're going to do everything we can because we know our leader would want us to do that. Kennedy Carter also said, I want to make sure I step up as well. You're seeing the full court pressure by Atlanta, which leads to a Minnesota timeout. Right out of that timeout, we've seen so much energy from Atlanta, the bucket from Courtney Williams, and the defensive effort in that last series.
And you can't sustain for 40 minutes pressing, but that is a look that Atlanta wants to get in here and there just to shake you up and make you think. And in this case, try to cause a turnover or a timeout. But I'm really impressed with the defensive buy-in of this Atlanta Dream team so far this year. Different identity, more aggressive, playing a little zone, doing some trapping, you know, over-rotating to the ball, trying to force turnovers. And they're buying into it, and they enjoy it, and you can see that.
You love even how the fans have bought into the style that's being represented here with Atlanta as well, and just how defensively they get things going. They have the third fastest pace in the league and leading the league in steals as well. But for Atlanta, just to throw different mixes out there defensively, as you were alluding to, that's another way to keep the ball from getting to Sylvia Fowles as well. So anything that you can throw at them to prevent Napheesa Collier and Sylvia Fowles from getting the ball and getting going is definitely a plus. So Atlanta is on an 11-0 run. Courtney Williams has 6 points in that run. We mentioned how it's going to be an adjustment for Atlanta without Tiffany Hayes in the lineup. We've seen Ari McDonald even, who stepped up for the 2 free throws. She had a pretty impressive game against Minnesota. The 2 games that they did have in Minnesota, she scored 15 points. And so she's been one of those players where whenever her number is called, she's ready to step up, and the energy doesn't drop off with her entering the game.
Yeah, and those were her 2 best games of the season. And she struggled a little bit as of late, and I think it has a lot to do with her three-point shot. You know, that's what sets up her quickness. If not, players on defense will just sag off of her and guard her for the drive. So when she's hitting threes, and she has the ability. I mean, she definitely showed that in Arizona, but this is a different game, as you know, so it takes some time to adjust at the WNBA level.
Coach Dania LaForce has been the assistant coach for the Dream that has been helping her tremendously with just learning the pace of the game. She knows quite a deal about the game as well. We have to send congratulations to her as she's supporting her son, Terrence Mann, with the Clippers, who are in the playoffs right now. Tough loss just the other night. It's been fun to watch basketball, WNBA, NBA on, if not every night, every other night, so it's been fun to follow both. So we're about to get things started once again. Lynx have the ball coming out, no pressure out of the gate, but you see right away, Ari McDonald with the steal from the top of the key. Odyssey Sims for 2.
And you see Atlanta setting up in that zone. Whenever you see one of their bigs at the top of the key, they're in that 1-3-1 zone that will flatten out a bit, but just another change in defense to try to throw Minnesota off and to try to protect the paint, where the Lynx have been effective so far.
Great box out by Tiana Hawkins to come down with the rebound. Atlanta on a 13-0 run. They've been very aggressive getting to the paint. As you can see, Odyssey Sims trying to work on something there. Courtney Williams' baseline jumper is short. Carlton finds Collier underneath. Going right at Elizabeth Williams, says stay down. She does, and disrupts the shot. Odyssey Sims pulls it out, surveys the lane quite a bit. Great ball movement for Atlanta, and maybe her ears are burning, LaChina. That 3 ball from Ari McDonald, she gave you one.
There is that long ball for the lefty. That is where her game will be more complete at this level, is when she can hit that 3 consistently, because then you can't guard her speed.
Foul underneath by Williams, but let's go back to the defensive end for Atlanta. Ari just getting it done on both ends of the floor.
Well, this helps your bigs, right? Because they've been getting hurt in the post when your guards can sink in and they can shoot the gap. So Ari McDonald comes in, uses that quickness defensively, and gets it out to another lefty in Odyssey Sims. They're missing a lefty tonight in Tiffany Hayes, but I just want to say the lefties are well represented for the Atlanta Dream. That's all.
Didn't take long for that to be dropped. Thank you, LaChina, for that nugget. We'll keep an eye out on it.
You don't sound excited about it.
We'll create a graphic for it, what the lefties are doing throughout the.
Now you're making fun of me. That's fine.
Never. I would never. Atlanta Dream with a stop on the defensive end. Still pushing the pace, up 10 over the Lynx here in the first quarter. Less than 90 seconds left. Ari McDonald from the top of the key. Back-to-back threes for Ari McDonald, and that's going to lead to a timeout for the Lynx. If Tiffany Hayes was here, she'd say, Ari Hash Brown McDonald letting it fly from the top of the key. The confidence we love to see.
You got to love it. Ari McDonald Off of the bounce from three, spotting up from long range. The rookie for the Dream, feeling it.
So the Dream are on a 19-0 run. You see how everyone is definitely paying attention to what the game plan is in the huddle with Coach Peterson. He mentioned how they were taking those next few practices that they had and really fine-tuning defense. We've seen that so far in this game. It was a slow start, seeing how they could adjust to the post play, but so far they're throwing a couple of things at the Lynx that have definitely been able to get them some points on the offensive end.
Yeah, in their loss at Washington, Coach Peterson talked a lot about their defense. You know, he said if we score in the 90s, those are games that we should win, and we're just not getting timely enough stops. And I thought Washington, obviously shorthanded, played a great game, but this is more of what he wanted to see, is speeding up the game, taking offensive possessions away from your opponent. And it is a high-risk, high-reward defense, so you will see teams, if they're knocking down the outside shot, really taking advantage of that. But so far, it's been great for Atlanta.
Well, Cheyenne Parker, that's her second block of the night, protecting the paint. The Lynx with 7 left on the shot clock to make something happen. 5 deflected by the Dream. Dantas lets it fly from outside, doesn't go. Bounce down a little bit. Sylvia fouls, finally gets it to go for Minnesota.
Unlucky bounce off the face of Tiana Hawkins.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And there's a foul at the top of the key once again for Lasia Clarendon. That's her second foul. For the Lynx, too, that's a tough one because that's going to send Erin McDonald to the free throw line for 2.
Lasia Clarendon, a little aggressive, yeah, absolutely. The bounce with the body. Two Pac-12 alumni going at it there.
Love to see it with Arizona and Cal. It's bounced around a little bit, let go by Liberty, and then on again, off again relationship with the Lynx, being signed to a contract for a hardship contract with the Lynx, but she's really enjoyed her time with this team. You see how she's in the starting lineup as well, and the ball goes flying out of bounds. I think that's going to be a foul that's going to be called against Tiana Hawkins.
It's been a very physical game very early on, and one good sign for Atlanta is despite that physicality and how effective they've been defensively, they've only got 3 fouls. Absolutely the right call there as Hawkins comes in with the bump. But 3 team fouls with aggressive defense in this first quarter, not bad.
Well, Lasia Clarendon will step up for the first free throw. That one's going to go. I already mentioned her opportunity with the Lynx this season, but also congrats are in order for her. She's been nominated as a finalist for the Muhammad Ali Sports Humanitarian Award, so definitely does her part in changing things for the world and just bringing more minds and understanding to the LGBTQ plus community. Sylvia fouls with the deflection underneath on Erin McDonald.
And I want to go back. There are 3 player fouls for Atlanta, but they are in the bonus in terms of team fouls, which is why Minnesota went to the free throw line.
Collier gets Cheyenne Parker up, but can't convert at the rim. 14 left, and Atlanta's going to slow things down and take the last shot of the quarter. Courtney Williams finds Parker in the corner for the 3, and that grazes the rim. And that's a 21-3 Atlanta run the last 5 minutes. And that's been amazing. They have the 12-point lead going to the rim. Kennedy Carter, welcome back. Love to see her getting things done for the Dream. The Hawks are in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks, and our post-game coverage will continue on Valley Sports Southeast. Throughout the series, join Bob Rathbun and Dominique Wilkins and our entire Hawks crew for Hawks Live Playoff Edition. Later tonight after Game 1, it will all be on Valley Sports Southeast and the Valley Sports app. So both Atlanta teams taking the hardwood tonight. Atlanta Dream trying to get things done against the Lynx here tonight. And then you can go over and watch the Hawks game as they have the first game of that series in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Bucks. So that will be entertaining to watch. I think Renee Montgomery has been so busy, too, getting things done with the Hawks. She's been all over the place. She was on MSNBC last night as well, prompting and just giving so much pub to this Atlanta Dream team and the energy around this franchise. You'll be speaking with her at halftime, I believe, as well.
Looking forward to that. With her old team, the Minnesota Lynx here. What a move by Crystal Bradford. Now, Crystal Bradford is going to be in the rotation a little earlier because Atlanta is without Monique Billings tonight as she is sick. So that moves Bradford up the depth chart. Nice take right there by Lasia Clarendon as she gets fouled and to get to the free throw line. But this is what Crystal Bradford does. When she comes in the game, she's looking to be aggressive. She's got an arsenal of moves, including the spin. Didn't need glass on the finish. Just a nice move by Bradford. And I want to double back on my comment about the free throw by Lasia Clarendon since she's back on the line. Remembering my WNBA rules.
Okay.
Because the team foul penalty happened in the last 2 minutes of that quarter, that is why Lasia went to the free throw line. So you don't actually have to be in the bonus on a non-shooting foul to get to the free throw line if it's in the last 2 minutes of the quarter.
LaChina's corner. She'll be taking
It's been a while since I called a game.
questions about rules. I love being alongside her, never out of the know.
We've got a secret weapon over here, so that helps us a little bit.
Atlanta can't connect on that last possession offensively. Nafisa Collier right away going underneath and finds the bucket against Bradford.
And this is a big lineup for Atlanta, one that we knew we would see, according to Mike Peterson, where Parker, Hawkins, and Bradford will be in the game at the same time. Beautiful jump shot there by Kennedy Carter. She's getting switches and matchups, favorable matchups early in this game. But Bradford is better at the 4, but she can play at the 3 spot.
Dantas trying to go underneath to Lasia Clarendon, can't connect there, so the Dream will get the ball back. Going back to Kennedy Carter, she injured her shooting arm, her shooting elbow. So for her to come out and just be so fluid and just knocking down shots early, I'm a bit surprised by that, but nonetheless, I know the Dream are excited to have her back.
Well, they did a good job of being patient, you know. I mean, she was healing well and she was ahead of schedule, but they wanted her to take her time coming back, and it's been a good thing for the Dream. Nice pass there by Carter to Cheyenne Parker.
Foul underneath, and it's going to go against Crystal Bradford on Nafisa Collier. A lot of contact on the block, and here's Kennedy Carter going to work.
She can see through traffic, and yes, that was a miss by Kayla McBride, who should have had a steal. But in the lane under the basket, Kennedy Carter is one of the more effective drop passers that you will see in this league. I mean, she can find her bigs pretty well.
Surveys very well. That's what it was so dangerous, seeing this team. And we probably won't see a healthy Dream team altogether until after the Olympic break. But their backcourt has been phenomenal as Dantas drains the 3 from the outside. Former Atlanta Dream player as well.
And that was just a really good pass by Lasia Clarendon. Defense couldn't get there in time.
A lot of pressure from Minnesota around the perimeter. Kennedy Carter working her magic once again, finds Parker, tips it in to herself, saying, my bad, I'll make it the next time.
And Atlanta has missed that. I mean, I really believe that in the Atlanta backcourt, when you look at Hayes, Williams, Sims, Carter has the most playmaking ability.
Another foul, just a lot of contact underneath for Tiana Hawkins, doing everything she can to keep Damaris Dantas out of the paint. But going back to Kennedy Carter, as Tiana Hawkins will check out of the game and Elizabeth Williams will step in. But Kennedy said, I want to make sure that I'm bringing everything I can to this team. I missed that, not being able to step up and make plays, as there's a block underneath. And that could go to 2 Dream players, and we'll see which one that sticks with. Odyssey Sims working her way inside and draws the foul. So that's going to go against Nafisa Collier, and that's a big one, LaChina, because that's her 3rd foul of the game.
And keeping in mind that Minnesota is also a team that has been shorthanded. We've talked about the dream injuries, but Natalie Achanwa out, Aerial Powers out. We may or may not see Jess Shepard tonight. She's been out. And of course, Renaya Davis, out of this year's WNBA draft, missing the season due to injury.
We're just going back to that. Aerial Powers and Natalie Achanwa, as Odyssey Sims knocks down that free throw, both left the same game against LA June 12th, sprained medial collateral ligament in her right knee for Natalie Achanwa. And Aerial Powers actually out indefinitely with a torn ulnar collateral ligament in her right thumb. Sylvia fouls one too many steps underneath, and she had about 5 Dream players all around her.
Perfect defense. I mean, that was really perfect defense by Atlanta. Crowding fouls without fouling her, taking away her space. They frustrated Sylvia there defensively.
And that's the 9th turnover for the Lynx in the first half, as Atlanta has a 14-point lead with under 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. They're looking to find some type of rhythm, executing with less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. Sims hesitates, spins, puts it up, and gets it to fall.
With the right hand. You see the lefty holding up the right hand as she goes back down the floor? She laid that up with her right.
I love it. I love it. 6 points for Odyssey Sims. Beautiful move to the basket. 16-point lead for Atlanta as Kayla McBride rebounds her own shot. Lasia Clarendon passes out to Banham. And that's just a tough pass all the way out, but luckily that's knocked out of bounds by the Lynx. And Courtney Williams actually had a player in transition on the back end as Rachel Banham knocked it out of bounds. Atlanta with the ball underneath. Odyssey Sims finds Kennedy Carter, who jumps back in. Can't touch the ball again. So Courtney Williams secures the ball. And a block by Sylvia Fowles. And no surprise, she just clogs the paint.
Barely left the floor for that one.
Sylvia Fowles has been outstanding. They found different ways, but LaChina, this block right here was pretty nasty.
Fouls. Rejection.
AT&T WNBA All-Star is back. Head over to WNBA.com/vote or download the new WNBA app to vote daily until June 27th. The All-Stars will be revealed on the 30th. Excited to see it going back to Vegas July 14th. A new game that'll be played against USA Women's Basketball. So the All-Stars that will be from that voting series, the coaches will vote on for the top 36, and 12 will actually be named as All-Stars to go against the women's basketball team for the Olympics. So that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it is kudos to the WNBA for still having an all-star game despite it being an Olympic summer. It can often be challenging to do both because you want our Olympic team to have some time, you know, to prep and gel, and it's just often a scheduling issue, but it's going to happen in Vegas and in that format that you mentioned. Beautiful pass, and right now Atlanta's just playing at a different speed on both ends of the floor. I mean, you see Minnesota, they are huffing and puffing. I mean, I think when you haven't played in Atlanta in a while, you forget how fast they play, how quick they can be on both ends.
Well, they remind you right away, pushing Sylvia Fowles out of the paint. Cheyenne Parker doing everything she can, comes down with the rebound as well and dishes it off to Courtney Williams. Also LaChina, just to see Kennedy Carter back in the rotation and what she does for the offense, as there is a foul that's going to go against Cheyenne Parker at the top of the key. That's going to be her first.
It has been really nice to see Kennedy Carter back out there. And, you know, her season, last season, injury hit. This year, injury hit again, but she's trying to keep her head up and stay encouraged, and she'll be an all-star in this league one day. I truly believe that she stays healthy and continues to get better.
And Cheyenne Parker comes over Sylvia Fowles on the shot attempt. So that's going to be an and one for Sylvia Fowles as she steps up to the free throw line for one.
On the last couple of possessions, Sylvia Fowles has been frustrated a little bit by the Atlanta defense. So right here, does a nice job of using her body to create that space early, but then comes back to the middle. Just beautiful jump hook, which looked like it got Cheyenne Parker in the face.
And just holding at her chin quite a bit, but that's going to be her second foul on the night. That's a tough task to see if you can defend Sylvia Fowles, who just pretty much does it all. You're looking at all her stats going down in her career. Just leading the league in rebounds. Rebecca Brunson, who she passes on the coaching staff for the Lynx, so she was there to congratulate her as well. 5 on the shot clock. Kennedy Carter with the ball, can't get it to fall. Crystal Dangerfield working her way. And a lot of contact underneath, and there's stoppage of play as Sylvia Fowles seemed like she had an open bucket underneath, and Odyssey Sims just falls to the floor.
I think that's Kennedy Carter. I believe that might be Carter on the baseline. Yeah, she took a hit to the face.
So just another look at it here underneath. It looked like Odyssey Sims was trying to work her way around it, and the left hand of Sylvia Fowles just gets her right in the face. So right now the basket is still good, and the officials are still reviewing for a hostile foul.
Oh, it looked like it was Kennedy Carter. I'm just realizing it was Odyssey Sims. I was like, wait.
So Kennedy Carter was in that frame, though, LaChina, trying to see if she could stop the layup for Sylvia Fowles. She came into play as well, but that was well after Odyssey Sims got hit in the face on the attempt to get around Sylvia.
I'm eavesdropping right now as the officials are going to take a look at this. Of course, obviously, contact above the shoulders will trigger a review. Yeah, definitely got her right in the face there. And yeah, we tried to get in on the this is the good thing about being down by the court again. They're going to look to see if there was anything flagrant there.
So the crew chief, Tierra Cruz, is speaking with our very own LaChina Robinson about what's going on this play and what they've seen in the review.
They're going to play on at point of interruption. Nothing. Okay.
And there you have it. I love being back on the floor, especially when the officials can come to you and you can get the inside scoop.
And again, Sylvia could not see what was happening on the baseline, so I think that's where that ruling comes in. There was nothing unnecessary, nothing excessive there in that contact above the shoulders. So
here we go. We will play on. 42-28 lead by Atlanta. Cheyenne Parker. A lot of congestion in the paint for the Lynx. Courtney Williams at the top of the key shakes her head as she knocks another one down.
The way that she can gather off of the handle and get into that jump shot, it's really impressive. I mean, she can dribble you into a lull and then pull up.
Dantas on the outside can't go. Odyssey Sims with the rebound. Say her eyes were quite all right as she goes inside, but that's going to be an offensive foul that's going to go against Odyssey Sims. A bit too egregious trying to get inside.
And it's tough to get back and get set in time before Atlanta's transition gets down the floor, but I'm not sure if Crystal Dangerfield was necessarily set when the contact happened. So that was a really close call. But she did get in front of her and get her shoulders squared. I'm just not sure she was completely in front of her when that contact was made.
So you're seeing a couple adjustments for the Lynx. They're still finding ways to get Sylvia Fowles the ball as she now has 14 points. Lynx trying to work their way back into this game. Atlanta has gone on a few runs here in the first half. Odyssey Sims with the scoop can't get it to go, and that's going to be a foul that's going to go against Atlanta. Actually, the crew chief, Tiara Cruz, runs in to change the call and saying that shorts were pulled down from Lasia Clarendon, and that was a great find.
She had Elizabeth Williams' shorts. That's what guards do sometimes when the bigs are down there. You know, they say mouse in the house. You got a little guard who's trying to battle a post for position on the glass.
Doing everything you could possibly do, but I just don't think pulling the shorts is quite legal.
And they're really good friends. And today's Elizabeth's birthday. Happy birthday, Elizabeth. So Lasia's just giving her a little birthday tug.
Before the game, as there's a charge that's going to go against Kennedy Carter. That's actually going to be her second foul, but you said that they were friends. They had a nice conversation at the beginning of the game, and to your point, she said, Liz, I know it's your birthday, but I'm not just giving you the win in it.
Not just going to let you have your way down here.
So Kennedy Carter comes out of the game, and Ari McDonald steps in. A lot of pressure at the top of the key. A matchup you'd love to see, her going against Crystal Dangerfield, last year's Rookie of the Year. And Sylvia Fowles can't connect on the first one, but in those instances, it's almost you just have to let her take it.
She's unstoppable here in the last few possessions, using her size. That's something Atlanta does not have a lot of. They can't match up inch for inch against Sylvia Fowles. Elizabeth Williams definitely giving up some size.
The Lynx certainly working their way back into the game. 12-point lead for Atlanta, and that can't connect for Courtney Williams. A tie-up, which will be interesting to see Ari McDonald and Sylvia Fowles. A timeout has been called on the floor right before. Right now, Atlanta with a 12-point lead. The Lynx have chipped away mainly because of the play in the post from Sylvia Fowles, finding ways to keep her team in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Atlanta, for a stretch, was doing a good job being disruptive either on the pass to the interior or just not allowing Sylvia to see the ball on the entry, but throwing it up above the heads of the shorter Atlanta Dream post players has worked. And Syl's just working harder. You know, she didn't get as many touches in their last game against Dallas as Cheryl Reed would have wanted. And she said it's twofold. It's Sylvia really wanting it and demanding the ball, but also our guards seeing her and acknowledging that.
Well, I'd say that they've done a good job so far in this game, because right out of the gate, it was going to Nafisa Collier as well as Sylvia Fowles, and you saw the mix-up between defenses and pressure from Atlanta. But with the pressure kind of sitting back, and you've heard throughout this game, the players, the coach, Mike Peterson, saying more pressure, push out. And if you don't see that from Atlanta, it's almost easy money for the Lynx.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they have got a style of play that they have to stick to, really, again, because of their lack of size on the inside. They got to speed it up. Lasia Clarendon's done a real nice job with 7 assists in this first half, and you don't want to see those kind of numbers if you're Mike Peterson. You don't want anyone to get comfortable delivering and moving the basketball against your defense the way that Atlanta plays.
So, entertaining moment of the night. Ari McDonald will take on.
That's quite a jump ball. Come on, Ari.
Sylvia Fowles at 6'6".
We are rooting for you, Ari. Show them what you got.
5'6" against 6'6".
Ari's got big heart, though.
And Odyssey is probably giving her some tips. Right when she got the jump ball, she looked at Sylvia and was almost like, okay, what are we going to do here? Just laughed at her teammates and laughed with them quite a bit. Sylvia laughing with her
They're laughing together now. No chance.
Sylvia looking at her, she said, jump. jump for the ball. That was quite the moment between Ari McDonald and Sylvia Fowles. But the Lynx come down with the jump ball. Crystal Dangerfield finding Dantas in the corner, and that's just her shot. She's been sitting out on the perimeter the entire game.
Yeah, you really don't want to help off of Dantas in the corner. I mean, Ari McDonald should be able to somewhat contain and contest Dangerfield. So Hawkins not making Minnesota pay there.
Lynx taking away the baseline from Courtney Williams. Ari McDonald's three is no good, and McBride works her way out. Dantas with the ball. Sylvia Fowles was pulled underneath, and that's going to go against Elizabeth Williams.
Sylvia Fowles is running a clinic right now on how to get low post position. She's sprinting the floor. She's running to the rim. She's making her body wide, showing hands. I mean, she is extremely active right now in transition in a way that Atlanta hasn't been able to match.
Seen it time and time again. I mean, she's a two-time champ, two-time finals MVP as well. So just even with the newer talent on this roster and them trying to almost rebuild, we saw them in the Wubble last summer. But Sylvia Fowles has been that constant, has been that leader who's teaching everyone how to go, and this coaching staff for the Lynx as well has been absolutely phenomenal, bringing on the new players for Minnesota in the new era for the Lynx as well. 90 seconds left in the first half. Tiana Hawkins turns down the three, and Odyssey Sims, high arching shot, and can't connect. Sylvia Fowles with the rebound. Approaching the 1 minute mark as Carlton is trying to find a way to get the ball to Dantas. She brings over the pressure from Elizabeth Williams.
And that's a play where if you're Elizabeth, you let your length defend. I thought body-wise she came over just a little too far. She could have given Dantas some space and still made that a difficult shot.
So Dantas will step up to the free throw line for two, and Cheyenne Parker is at the scorer's table waiting to check in, assuming it's for Elizabeth Williams, who just picked up her third foul as well. So the Lynx have gone on a run of their own, on a 10-0 run the last 2.5 minutes. The biggest lead for Atlanta was 18. Now we're looking at a 6-point game.
Yeah, the Lynx have cleaned up their turnovers, and they have maximized the play of Sylvia Fowles in the middle.
So a 60-second timeout has been called. We're going to take a break as well. We'll see you on the other side. The Atlanta Dream once held an 18-point lead in this game, and the Lynx have pushed their way through and now have made it a 6-point game, have gone on a run for themselves. Approaching the 1 minute mark left in this half as Ari McDonald pushes past the pressure the Lynx were showing in full court. Try to see if they can get some execution going from Courtney Williams, the corner of the floor, and there's a wedgie. Well, if there's anything about that shot that looks nice, LaChina, it's that the basketball, the new Wilson basketball for
It's
the 25th
bright.
season is beautiful.
And it is. It's gorgeous. Okay, Sil. I'm sure. Oh,
And that's a tough one.
it is. It's a wedgie. That's what Bob used to call it, a wedgie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bob Rathman.
Very busy on the Hawk side. Love our pal. Started off with you guys many moons ago.
He was the first person that I heard use that term, wedgie. Now everyone's trying to steal it from him.
Bob, if it's okay with you, I'm just going to stick that one in my back pocket when that does occur. So jump ball, Sylvia Fowles against Cheyenne Parker. Once again, she's 2 for 2. In the jump ball scenario, Crystal Dangerfield with the ball at the top of the key for the Lynx. Going against Ari McDonald. Dantas once again from the three-point line. Can't get that one to drop. Shot resets to 14. Dantas can't get it to go from outside, but finds a way to get it to drop in the paint.
Having a really strong first half of play for Dantas.
Dantas with 9 points in the game so far. 2 for 7 from 3. As Atlanta has the ball at the top of the key. Courtney Williams. Mid-range. Just give Courtney Williams the ball when the time is running out, right?
I mean, that was fairly well defended. And come on with the green hair. Can we just...
This is the first time we've talked about the green hair. So Minnesota 12-2 run. But that's all beside us. When Courtney Williams has the ball in her hands, you got to check her.
And the little fadeaway gives that just enough visibility for both the eyes of Courtney Williams to see the rim and the basketball to go through the net.
I mean, just a little bit of space for Courtney Williams, and she's showing everybody why you indeed need to vote her for an all-star. As she's flexing in front of the bench right now. She's putting the headset on. She will be joined by our sideline reporter, Shantiana Keys. Courtney Williams, 16 points in 17 minutes. 2 of those points were at the last second of the game, and Shantiana Keys has Courtney Williams now.
Courtney, Aerie is a double figures with you, and I heard you early in the game yell at her to shoot the ball. How important is it for her to play with confidence?
Man, it's very important. You know, we down a couple players this game, so we knew, you know, the people coming up on our bench had to step up, and that's what she's doing, man. We believe in Aerie and what she can do, so I'm going to continue to tell her to keep shooting.
And you got off to a 19-0 run off early in the first half, and but they've closed it now to single digits. What do you have to do to maintain the momentum, or excuse me, to regain momentum in the second half?
I mean, Sylvia kind of, Sylvia, you know, we have to contain her. I mean, she's an amazing player. We know what she can do, but you know, we got to keep trying our best and keep playing Atlanta Dream basketball.
Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you.
Thanks, Courtney. Thanks, Shantiana. Well, Sylvia Fowles trying to contain her. Well, a lot of teams are trying the same thing. We'll see if the Dream can take care of business in the second half. But first, they're doing their work in the first half, up 6 to close it. Welcome back. The Atlanta Dream of just moments away from tipping off the second half, up 6 to enter the second half. We'll look over the halftime stats, which are presented by Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield of China. They're about even. Percentage-wise, rebounds about even as well, but it's the turnovers that's cost the Lynx, and Atlanta has definitely made them pay.
Well, and those are the keys for the game. If Atlanta wants to win, they have to start turning Minnesota over again the way they were, being disrupted with their defense, and then it's points in the paint. One of the numbers you don't see there, but you do see the 18 points for Sylvia Fowles. Atlanta must limit Sylvia Fowles' impact on the inside. On the flip side of that, Minnesota's got to keep going to the rim.
Absolutely. You saw with Shantiana Keys, Courtney Williams kind of laughed a bit, saying, we got to find a way to contain Sylvia Fowles. She is the Lynx leading scorer with 18 points coming into the quarter, and Kennedy Carter, my goodness, doesn't take much time for her.
And you know how she's able to score over Sylvia Fowles like that? It's because of her quickness. Like, she is making moves. Sylvia doesn't know where to anticipate that shot coming off because Kennedy Carter's coming down and just jiving and faking and chucking and gets that ball up.
So shifty in her play. As
there you go, shifty.
Shifty, there you go.
I like that word.
There's a block underneath from Elizabeth Williams.
Nice job of Elizabeth Williams recovering, and Sylvia was a little far under the basket on that one.
Dantas from outside, another one, another 3 for her. That's the 3rd on the night.
Against her old team, Damaris Dantas, who is coming off her first double-figure performance of the season. Spent 3+ seasons in Atlanta. It's been a little slow for her this year, but we know what she's capable of.
Oh, absolutely. Out of Brazil is honestly Sims. Another guard, another problem for the Lynx.
Really attacking that second level of defense there by Sims.
Another attack at the rim from Dantas. And that's Cheyenne Parker's second foul. Not too happy or thrilled. Not many players are happy when they pick up a foul, but.
And we're seeing a lot of why Damaris Dantas can be a tough guard. You know, she's got size to her. She's very strong, plays the game with power, but she can drive to the rim. She can shoot the three.
And she gets the first one to go. You mentioned her time with the Atlanta Dream, now with the Lynx, and Cheryl Reeves loves what she brings as far as stretching the floor with this team as well. She's been playing very well off of Sylvia Fowles to add. She continues to grow her game in Minnesota. Kennedy Carter gets the switch with Dantas.
Woo!
In the bucket. Hollywood, we see you.
Come on, how much fun is she to watch? I mean.
You mentioned it, though. LaChina just, you know, she's missed 6 games with the injury to her elbow that she endured in New York, but she's not too far from getting those votes for being an all-star. As Kayla McBride lets it launch from outside, and Courtney Williams comes in for the rebound, something that everyone knows that she can do very well.
So as expected, Nafisa's back in the game, and because she's playing more at the 3 spot and is going to have a smaller defender on her, they're going to continue to look to get her into the post, get her touches on the inside the way they did to start this game.
So a foul by Kayla McBride there. That's her second, as Atlanta will take the ball out on the sideline, and Courtney Williams trying to get everyone going on the offensive end. Some action at the top of the key from Cheyenne Parker. Carter working the baseline. Nice crossover, but just leaves it short. Dantas finds Clarendon. Trying to get to the bucket. A lot of contact underneath, but Carter was able to poke the ball out underneath, and a jump ball is called on the play.
Lasia Clarendon had to spend a good amount of time on the bench because of foul trouble, but she had 7 assists and only 1 turnover in that first half. So despite Atlanta's ability to be disruptive, I thought Lasia overall did a nice job of managing.
3 fouls that she picked up in the first half. She gets the tip as well, gets the ball at the top of the key with 10 on the shot clock for the Lynx. Right away, they're looking for Fowles, who draws the double team, and Odyssey Sims inches from finding the steal, but Atlanta still comes down with the rebound. Courtney Williams working a little bit of magic on the side against Lasia Clarendon. Courtney Williams, raindrop.
Beautiful floater. And good air time there by Courtney Williams.
She was leading the team in points. She has 18 on the night so far. Dantas seeing the hovering defense from Atlanta, but not quite enough as Kayla McBride finds a spot and gets the 2. Odyssey Sims working her way all the way to the rim, and that's denied by Nafisa Collier.
Nice transition defense there by Minnesota to get back.
You would assume that's the name of the game, just knowing Atlanta and how they love to play and the pace in which they play. The Lynx have done a relatively good job with preventing Atlanta getting out in transition. Beautiful dish underneath from Sims to Parker.
Just a great find by Sims. Squeezing through 2 taller defenders.
So it's the playmakers getting it done for Odyssey Sims and Kennedy Carter for Atlanta. Can't leave out Courtney Williams with her 18 points on the night, and the poke from behind from Elizabeth Williams. But it's poked to the wrong one. Dantas with her 4th 3. Lasia trying to work her way over the screen from Parker. And a foul is committed on the play. This one is going to go against the Lynx, and tough one for Laysia Clarendon. That's her 4th. Beautiful dish right here, LaChina.
Yeah, I mean, just splits 2 defenders on the find there by Odyssey Sims, and she is starting to really play with a high level of confidence and understanding of her role on this team. She was thrusted into more responsibility due to injury. The plan was to kind of let her come along off of the bench, but with Carter out and now Hayes out, Odyssey Sims has had time to really find her stride.
Back-to-back games with 20 points. Said, I'm getting comfortable as 3 on the shot clock. Dished out to Sims, who had time to let it go and has time for it to fall. Nice dish from Kennedy Carter.
And good relocation by Sims. She didn't just stand around. She saw an open space on the 3-point line as the defense was collapsed and worried about Carter off of the drive.
And the Lynx come back and will have an opportunity for 3 the unconventional way as Nafisa Collier gets the and 1. Will step to the free throw line for 1.
Collier with the height advantage over Odyssey Sims, and too much contact there by Sims. The rise and fire by Nafisa.
Gets the bucket from the free throw line as well. 6-point game we're looking at, LaChina, and 6 points was the difference at halftime. You mentioned how Atlanta in the first half really jumped out on the Lynx, had an 18-point lead. We saw it mainly from the defensive end, but the Lynx have fought their way back into this game. The Dreamer looking for a bucket with less than 2 on the shot clock. And of course, Kennedy Carter finds a way to draw the foul.
And you worry about Kennedy Carter on those drives, because when she comes out of the air, she puts her arms down, and that's really the way she hurt that elbow, is trying to catch her fall. She's just airborne there. Took a couple bodies of contact, but how many times has she hit the floor? We used to keep a count for Tiffany Hayes because she would hit the deck a lot during the course of the game. Kennedy Carter's trying to catch up.
Well, we hope that she doesn't catch up, because Tiffany Hayes, as Carter knocks down the first one, is known for her ability to just find the floor on both ends on the floor, picking up charges. But that's how she brings so much energy to this team, as Atlanta is now 10 for 10 from the free throw line, getting it done from the stripe as well. Tipped at the top of the key by Parker. Odyssey Sims, bounce pass, too much for Parker to handle, and Crystal Dangerfield coming out of the pack with the ball. Sylvia.
Touch. She's not just a banger. Sylvia Fowles can stretch the floor, and it's got a beautiful jump shot.
The most efficient player in the league, as she gets the block against Williams, who's going to see if she can get one more, and she does.
Good patience and good footwork by the birthday girl.
Her brother is in attendance as well, who played at Duke, and Nafisa Collier gets the dime in from Crystal Dangerfield. This game is going back and forth, but right now Atlanta trying to get back into a rhythm we saw them in that first half. Tiana Hawkins is at the scores table, seeing if she can check in on the next dead ball, which will be now. And we'll see her after the next break, but Atlanta trying to see what they can do to keep Sylvia Fowles out of the equation. Welcome back to Atlanta Dream with a 6-point lead. It's been a very entertaining game so far. Atlanta trying to get things done after a tough night on the road. Well, let's take a look at the 2021 USA Women's Basketball Olympic team. Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, their 5th one, looking for their 7th consecutive gold medal for the women's team. Sylvia Fowles, if you're seeing on the Lynx side. Nafisa Collier with the Lynx as well. Tina Charles, Brittany Griner, Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Joel Lloyd, Ariel Atkins, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Chelsea Gray. Congrats are in order. We'll be in Tokyo in July, in the beginning of August as well, to go for another gold medal. Cheryl Reeve is one of the assistant coaches for that team as well. Dawn Staley, head coach, Jan Hughes, and Jennifer Rosati, an assistant as well. So congrats are in order for the team, and that was just released this week. And also just today, the USA Olympic 3-on-3 women's basketball team, Kelsey Plum, Alicia Gray, Stephanie Dolson, Katie Lou Samuelson, also headed to Tokyo for that competition. So a lot of action going on right now for the Olympics.
Yeah, I'm excited about the 3-on-3 competition and want to give a shout out to Kara Lawson, as we are WNBA team of the Southeast. There are a lot of Lady Ball fans out here, and you know, Kara has really helped to build USA Basketball's 3-on-3 program and has studied it and figured out a way for us to not only be successful in it, but now to compete for an Olympic gold. I mean, it's really incredible to see what's happened. So kudos to the 3-on-3 team, everyone that made it, and also to Kara.
So congratulations, Team USA, for 3-on-3, as well as the women going for their 7th consecutive gold medal. That's just pure dominance for the women's team during the Olympics. Tina Charles going for her 4th one as well. She already has 3 Olympic gold medals.
USA enters the Tokyo Olympics riding a 49-game win streak in competition, in Olympic competition, beginning with the 1992 bronze medal game, which we know 96 was the revenge. 6 straight. Incredible.
Well, best of luck to all the women competing in the Olympics. That miss by Crystal Bradford was actually the first miss from the free throw line for the Dream, as another 3 is knocked down by Carrollton.
And that's the shot that will be there. Because of the way the Dream defends, they send extra defenders to the ball. They flood ball side, trying not to allow you to get the possession out. But if you do, you can get an open bucket. Speaking of an open bucket, Bradford with a beauty.
You mentioned the minutes that she's going to see with Monique Billings being out tonight for sickness, non-COVID related, but Crystal Bradford so far bringing a lot of energy to the paint, but not enough on that rotation as Sylvia Fowles once again finds an easy look on the basket.
And again, Bradford moving up the food chain for a couple reasons. Tiffany Hayes out, Billings out. She can play the 3 and the 4.
22 points, 13 rebounds for Sylvia Fowles. And the foul at the top of the key. This one is going to go against Kayla McBride. But let's go back to Bradford.
I don't know. I think there may have been a call for a travel here, but oh yeah. I think Bradford got away with a walk.
Well, it's too late, so we're just going to push on, and we're just going to.
It's a nice looking move, though.
It's nice. It was nice, and gives Atlanta this 3-point advantage, but LaChina just quickly with the 3 ball. The Lynx have worked their way into it, and with Tiana Hawkins now at the free throw line, these are very important possessions, especially to close out the 3rd quarter. And she knocks down both. So Tiana Hawkins with her first 2 points of the game, and Crystal Bradford with the nice poke from behind. 15 on the shot clock for the Lynx. Just a 5-point game. We've seen it go back and forth, 4, 6, a lot through this time, and the Lynx just haven't been able to regain the lead. Carlton all the way to the rim. Can't get that one to go, but guess what? Sylvia Fowles with the cleanup committee.
Completely out of position. Sylvia Fowles finds a way and gets to the glass.
Odyssey Sims with the response with the left. Odyssey Sims with 7 points in this quarter alone. We've seen a more aggressive Odyssey Sims in the last few games.
You think she wants to beat her old team?
I would say so. Carlton gets her own rebound, LaChina, off the 3 and just, with no pressure, just finishes off the glass.
Well, one of the things that Mike Peterson would tell you is that when there is a bigger 3 player, whether that's Nafisa's at the 3, Carlton's got a little bit of a size advantage. The Dream has struggled in those scenarios on the glass. I mean, that was that situation, but Bradford, I'm not going to say it, I'll let you say it.
I mean, Crystal Bradford has been outstanding, LaChina. on both ends of the floor for 3, but getting it done defensively, offensively. Maybe we should get some all-star votes for her, as well as Crystal Dangerfield finds her way to 2 points. It's like the Red Sea just opened up and she was able to get an easy look. Less than a minute here in the third quarter. Atlanta with a 4-point lead. Courtney Williams, and I'll let you finish that one.
I don't even know how she hits some of those buckets. I mean, I'm almost right behind Courtney Williams. I'm just clearly a couple yards back. But there were hands. It was contested.
Carlton, there was a hand in her face, Tiana Hawkins. That was all but down for Carlton. And the last possession will go to Atlanta, barring no turnovers in this possession. As we approach the 5-second mark, Courtney Williams all the way to the rim, holds off Sylvia fouls, and Courtney Williams continues to shine in this game. Atlanta 12 from 16 from the field in this quarter, shining and holding on to this lead, trying to hold off the Lynx and get a little bit of revenge from earlier in the month. In celebration of LGBTQ+ Pride presented by Deloitte, the WNBA will collaborate with GLSEN and Fanatics on an exclusive line of Pride apparel, including Fanatics branded WNBA t-shirts. All WNBA proceeds will benefit GLSEN, and fans can purchase their shirts at WNBAstore.nba.com. So make sure you get your WNBA Pride t-shirts. You can find them for Pride Month, but LaChina, what a quarter that we experienced from the Lynx and the Dream. 30-28, and that one, Lynx trying to work their way back in this one as they have an 8-point lead to enter the last frame. And Crystal Dangerfield quickly makes it a 2-possession game for the Lynx. Williams picks the ball up on the baseline. Odyssey Sims trying to see what she can work. The 2-man game, Tiana Hawkins from the top of the key. Can't get it to go. Draws the front of the iron as Kennedy Carter walks to the scores table to check in at the next dead ball. We have a 6-point game on our hands with Nafisa Collier passing out to Carlton for a 3, and Atlanta really lucky right now that she hasn't hit the last 2. A jump ball is called between Hawkins and Collier. And Kennedy Carter will check back in for Odyssey Sims. So the Lynx have got the last 2 jump balls, as Hawkins will try and change that tune quite a bit, but can't. They're 3 for 3 in this game. Dangerfield trying to get it to Collier, but it's poked from behind with Hawkins. Kennedy Carter working her way. Bradford, Tiana Hawkins. Next shot mentality for Hawkins drains the 3 on this try.
And really good drive there by Bradford to create that. Gives a piece of the paint, but all the time she had awareness of where Hawkins' defender was.
Tiana Hawkins, that's 5 points for her. Her first field goal of the night. Carlton passes it out with less than 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Lynx. Collier fumbles the ball a bit too on the shot clock. Dangerfield with the heave, and that's the back of the iron, and Courtney Williams skies in for the rebound.
Get out of there, Crystal! Get out of there! Get out of there, Crystal!
So Williams trying to force the ball into Crystal Bradford. As Crystal Dangerfield misses everything on that shot, and you're wanting to see some composure out of Atlanta. The last couple of possessions where they've been trying to execute, and you can see from Coach Peterson as well, is trying to get his team on the same page. Courtney Williams at the top of the key trying to break down the defense for the Lynx. A lot of contact underneath. Crystal Bradford falls to the floor as Nafisa Collier doesn't find anything in transition. Dangerfield, nothing to Collier. Collier still comes down with the rebound. And Carlton from the outside has missed 3 straight three-pointers. So you mentioned the pace at the top of the game, LaChina, and what we were going to see from both the Atlanta team and Lynx, and you can see a lot of players gas quite a bit. And that's going to be a foul that's going to go against the Lynx.
Yeah, a lot of up and down in this game. We mentioned Atlanta being one of the best in the league in terms of pace. And I've tried to keep an eye on Kennedy Carter to see if there's been any fatigue. She did give Mike Peterson a sign early in the game that she felt like she needed to come out, but as the game has gone on, she's found places to get some breaks.
Odyssey Sims, another high arching 3, and that one hits the back of the iron. 9-point lead for Atlanta. Lasia Clarendon in the game for the Lynx and gets that one to fall at the top of the key.
Clarendon, also former Dream player. Looks like her and Dantes want a little revenge, but Odyssey Sims wants some revenge too, so it's all good.
And Tiana Hawkins tried to create an extra opportunity for the Atlanta Dream and just couldn't come down with the ball, but great effort for her.
Well, in the last couple of possessions, Kennedy Carter has kind of gotten into the jump shot, you know, settled for the outside look instead of pushing to the rim, and I just think no one can guard her when she's going to the rack. I mean, every time if I was her, I would force the collapse or get an easy one at the rim.
Make them choose where they need to guard as the Atlanta Dream come down with a steal and just a sloppy shovel pass by Carter trying to get it to Hawkins. McBride, full pace, gets the 2 points underneath.
Quiet evening from Kayla McBride. Only her second field goal.
4 points for Kayla McBride, who had some foul trouble as well in this game, and seeing how she's adjusted defensively. Atlanta Dream trying to close this one out. A lot of time left as Crystal Bradford, the shot selection for Atlanta seems very interesting, to say the least.
They haven't really moved the ball as much as we have seen earlier in the game. The last few possessions has been more about jump shots. And I thought you were going to say something about Crystal Bradford's left hand when she hit that 3 from the corner, but you know, I'm not going to go all the way back to that possession now, but since she just shot, I thought I would just bring that out for you.
I should have known. I looked over and I was like, that, blame it. It's not it. Maybe next time, the lefty. I'll see if I can get one in next time. The Atlanta Braves' next telecast will be tomorrow night as the Braves take on the Cincinnati Reds at the Great American Ballpark. Coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern on Bally Sports Southeast and the Bally Sports app. We're looking at Tiffany Hayes' sideline, unfortunately, for the Atlanta Dream with a grade 2 MCL tear, 4 to 6 weeks. She'll be on the sideline. She was speaking to us before the game, and we said, how do you feel? She said, I'm, for lack of better words, upset.
Yeah, I mean, she was having a great season. And career highs in scoring, steals, assists, a high from three-point range, shooting 47% from beyond the arc. 45% from beyond the arc. And you hate to see it. I mean, she was headed towards an all-star appearance as well.
And for the Lynx during that conversation, there was a defensive 3 seconds on the call, so Kayla McBride has stepped up for one free throw. Dantes, once again, LaChina has been lights out from beyond the arc.
She really has. And because you have Sylvia Fowles on the inside, she creates and wreaks enough havoc down low that Dantes can float out and find herself open.
Dantes has 5 threes on the night. She's shooting 50% behind the arc and working her team back into it, but with the skying play by Kennedy Carter, they need more of that. 3
3-point game, LaChina, as we're a little under halfway here in the fourth quarter. And that's what it comes down to for Atlanta, just getting those defensive stops. They pick up one there. Courtney Williams slowing it down. Odyssey Sims was wide open in transition, but Courtney Williams tries to rise up. The tip no good by Parker, and Lasia Clarendon pushing, but doesn't have the numbers.
There's only one player on the glass for Atlanta, and that's something they're actually really good at, is sending several bodies to the offensive glass and still getting back in transition D. Oh,
Dantas once again from the three-point line, 6 triples on the night.
And it's hard in this big lineup for Minnesota. You've got to collapse on Collier and fouls inside.
That 3 by Dantas ties the ball game. And Dantas has 22 points tonight, lighting it up, as Atlanta is going to miss an opportunity to get the ball off, and the communication just not there for the Dream in that possession.
The collapse by Hawkins on to Damaris Dantas. And that's all she needed, was that second. And Hawkins just not quick enough to get back out to contest. I mean, that's a difficult defensive assignment to recover.
Atlanta once up by 18 points. Now the ball game is tied, and Sylvia fouled underneath, and she'll get a trip to the free throw line for 2. And they could take their first lead of the game since the first quarter.
This is a really dangerous lineup of bigs with Dantas, Collier, and Sylvia Fowles, and that was absolutely contact by Cheyenne Parker. You just got to play straight up. Your hands should never come down whatsoever when you're guarding Sylvia Fowles unless you have a clear poke away. She's too strong.
And also knocks down yet another free throw, only shooting 65% from the free throw line this season, but she's been more and more efficient. Beautiful touch underneath the rim. They get the ball to her for this primary reason. They trust her at the free throw line, and she drops 2 for the Lynx. 2-point lead for the Lynx. The first lead since the first quarter. Sylvia Fowles, 23 points. Actually 26 points, 17 rebounds, and Courtney Williams. Those are the buckets that you need for Atlanta at this point.
11 for 19 from the field for Courtney Williams. This jump shot is unstoppable. Didn't really see the contact on that replay, but officials say Kayla McBride got Courtney Williams, and when she is suspended in the air like that, it is challenging to contest that shot.
Courtney Williams having one of the night, just stepping up for Atlanta, doing everything she needs to do. I'm not sure if it's the green hair or not, but hopefully she can knock down the free throw to get the lead back. Tonight's presentation of Atlanta Dream Basketball is brought to you by Coca-Cola, and this has been a fun one so far tonight. Atlanta led 79-70 with 8:36 left. Minnesota went on a 13-4 run to tie it, and then Courtney Williams came down with the bucket to tie it again, and can't hit the free throw to take the lead. But it's been going back and forth in this last 5 minutes of the game. As Odyssey Sims, a lot of contact underneath, almost clips Lasia Clarendon. Nothing is called on the floor as well.
Sims thought she had that, but just did not have the right timing on that play. She thought she could get to the passing lane, but just did not have position, and you're just lucky that Lasia Clarendon didn't get injured, that no one was hurt in that.
Sylvia Fowles gets the ball at the top of the key and dishes it back off to Clarendon. And that's picked off by Courtney Williams, who is lightning quick. But it's stripped from behind from Kayla McBride, who is definitely going against the call on the floor.
But it started with the tap away by Odyssey Sims right here. Watch these quick hands. Boom. She gets it. Courtney Williams is looking for it and ready for it. But then Minnesota recovers. It's Atlanta ball.
Right now for Atlanta, Kayla McBride just picked up a foul. And that's going to actually be her 4th foul so far tonight. But she wasn't happy with the foul call. They're going to get the ball back because Courtney Williams couldn't find anything in transition. Odyssey Sims works her way to the rim, can't get it to fall. Williams with the rebound. A lot of contact, and it finds its way to a Lynx player. Laysha Clarendon pushing the pace. Finds McBride, McBride for 3. And that hits every part of the rim, but can't quite fall. You can see the pace going back and forth of both teams. 83 all, with less than 3 minutes in the game, approaching the 2-minute mark, and a lot of contact at the top of the key with Dantas and Cheyenne Parker. You can see them communicating about what they need to step up to the free throw line, and here's the contact there, LaChina.
Again, a physical game. Be interesting to see how that plays a part in this game in the final minutes.
2 minutes, we're approaching 2. 5 on the shot clock. Odyssey Sims finds Cheyenne Parker, who can't finish with the left. That would have been huge for Atlanta. Clarendon finds McBride in transition for 2 in the lead. McBride with 7 points. It's been quiet for her, but hitting the buckets when it counts for Minnesota. Courtney Williams trying to dish off to Williams underneath. A lot of contact, and that 5th foul is going to put Atlanta to the free throw line regardless.
And yes, a lot of contact. You're going to say that a lot here, I think, as I mentioned in the last 2 minutes.
Elizabeth Williams just taking some time to lace the sneakers. The birthday girl for the Atlanta Dream. These will be big free throws for Atlanta as she's able to step up for 2. It's been a relatively quiet night for Elizabeth as well. 2 points on the night. That makes it 3 with that free throw. And the next one will be just as important. And she gets both to fall, and that's something she's wanted to get better at, is knocking down the free throw. Timely and big shots for her. So 2 free throws from Elizabeth Williams ties this ball game up, 85 all. Welcome back. This has been an entertaining game to finish towards the stretch. The Lynx have built into this 18-point deficit, gained the lead in the 4th quarter. The ball is tipped underneath, and they're actually going to signal the review for this one. And both teams are going to have to head straight to their bench. But this one has gone back and forth with China, as the officials are going to look at who the ball went off of during that tip.
But I'm with Cheryl Reeve, and there was a foul there by Crystal Bradford who took out Demirs Dantas. But the officials are reviewing this as we speak, and we're going to try to eavesdrop.
So to your point, Dantas, who has had a pretty impressive game, 23 points, 6 threes for her already, and you can see the tip there, but a lot of contact, which they can't go back and change for a foul, but just more so who the ball went off of. So they're signaling now who the ball is going to go back to, and hopefully we get some information to you, LaChina, about what their decision has been made.
I also like to hear, how they're communicating. They're asking for various angles right now. We're always wondering, what are the officials doing during a review? Where they're requesting various angles. They have one, sometimes another official come over and take a look, and then they get together and talk about it. But it looks like the ball may have been off the fingers of Crystal Bradford.
You can see with that angle too, China, the trajectory of the ball with Crystal Bradford hitting up and tipping the ball out. Yep. But I'll say this one thing too, just the time that it took wasn't that much, which is good for the players too.
Call on the floor was confirmed. Minnesota ball.
So Leja clearing out the floor, trying to get some offense going, trying to see if she can get Sylvia Fowles underneath.
Still had to come out of position to catch that one.
Cheyenne Parker trying to keep her contained is a big shot for Kayla McBride. The basket counts and a timeout is called for Atlanta.
Money McBride. McBuckets showing up when Minnesota has needed her most down the stretch.
Welcome back. Just a few seconds off the clock as you rejoin the gameplay with Atlanta, trying to see if they can get back in the game on top. As Odyssey Sims trying to dish off to Elizabeth Williams, and they have 9 on the shot clock. Less than a minute left in this game, and it's all about execution for Atlanta in this possession. Odyssey Sims tipped and blocked by Sylvia Fowles. A lot going on.
Wow, what a defensive stance by Sylvia Fowles, and then the rebound.
So both sides are just asking what's going on, and a lot of contact underneath. Would almost want to see if they could get a better shot instead of a one going over Sylvia Fowles, as 3 is left on the shot clock for the Lynx, and Leja Clarendon can't get that one to fall. The Lynx come down with the rebound as Leja gets the ball as well, and that's a tough one for Atlanta. Once up 18 in the first half, and the Lynx just worked their way back into this one.
And according to our scoreboard here, Atlanta did have a timeout on that end when they got the offensive rebound, and they didn't really look like they knew where they wanted to go down the stretch. But credit Sylvia Fowles, who not only defended in several positions, but turned her game up offensively when this team needed it, got a key rebound down the stretch. It was definitely her leadership.
So the Lynx sweep for Atlanta, 3 straight for them, 4 straight for Atlanta, for the Lynx against Atlanta. Atlanta had 4 attempts at the basket in this possession, LaChina.
Yeah, I mean, Sylvia Fowles contested that and then comes back, and if you're Cheyenne Parker, I mean, you're right at the rim. Got to have that one.
Minnesota went on a 17-6 run in the last 6 minutes of play, and it came down to the 3 ball. What an amazing output by Carlton. Dantas hitting 6 as well, and the Lynx walk away with a win for the 3rd time against the Atlanta.
This copyrighted telecast of WNBA Enterprises may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise used in any form without the express written consent of WNBA Enterprises.
And what a close to this game. The Lynx walk away with a 2-point win in Atlanta after already getting 2 wins on the road in Atlanta. Just a different look from them offensively down the stretch.
Yeah, Atlanta really wasn't able to get into that groove. And they did have a lot of turnovers down the stretch, but it was also the glass. I thought rebounding, Minnesota got the corrals when they needed them.
Well, they'll see if they can get it done as we're back here on Saturday. Thank you for joining us for Atlanta Dream Basketball, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Our next telecast is Saturday, June 26th, and the Dream take on the New York Liberty on Bally Sports Southeast at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. For LaChina Robinson and our entire crew, I'm Angel Gray, reminding you our final score is Lynx 87, your Dream 85. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you Saturday. Good night, everyone.